So eventually, you may have been wondering about what happened yesterday. On April 9th, there was actually a terrible fire that appeared in the elementary school in Elwood City. So what I was going to say is that I'm really going to do a short summary about what happened. So it all started on April 9th in Arthur's school. You guys have been seeing the post like what really happened on April 9th. So eventually, Arthur and his friends were having classes. Mr. Ratburn gave out their test, but suddenly a fire burst out of nowhere. The principal of the school, Mr. Morris, injured his leg, and Sue Ellen's journal was destroyed. But for Arthur's dad, he actually survived, but Arthur did have that nightmare to say that he'll never see his father again, like he'll never see his father again. So eventually, what I was going to say is that April 9th was definitely a devastating episode. But do you know, from the other side, we can experience this kind of thing and accept it, like accept the fact that you can't retrieve an item when it's lost in a fire. You cannot retrieve an item, Mm-mm. Now, there's actually a fire which actually was from the teacher's lounge. So according to David Reed, Arthur's father, it says that it has a faulty wiring, which has actually caused the Lakewood Elementary School to close. So Sue Ellen was actually heartbroken because the journal was destroyed. Binky tries to behave in a better calm manner when the flames had terrified him. Buster feels totally left out because of the entire thing. Mr. Reed had a catering job at the school. He escaped safely, but now Arthur really worries about his father being hurt or killed in the fire, like it's definitely bad. So what I was gonna say is that in the second part of the episode, Binky pulls the fire alarm. He actually gets expelled. He reads out a note, and Mr. Heine offers him a job instead of getting him expelled. And what I was gonna say is this: why would Binky pull the fire alarm at the school? So when the kids were actually transported to this school, which was not Lakewood Elementary, but it was also another school, which was the Mighty Mountain School. So eventually, Binky had to apologize for the Mighty Mountain principal and Mr. Heine. He thought it was a prank, but it's not a prank. And Binky should have learned his lesson. Fire alarms are not for playing. You don't pull a fire alarm for a serious prank. You could get sent to jail. Only pull the fire alarm when there is a real fire or when there's an emergency. And it's a really sad episode. I'm gonna have to say this. Things you can't retrieve back when there's a fire will never come back to you. You have to accept it, and if it's destroyed on the fire, it's okay. The only thing you have to do is save yourself from a fire, just in case if you get burnt, Like what the firefighters say and teachers say. Every time at the school we have fire drills, we take them really, really seriously. We don't talk, we don't bring our stuff, and we also walk slowly, like what Mr. Ratman's kids are doing. And you know what's even traumatizing? Sue Ellen did lost her journal, and that journal she got was from the first grade. But when Muffy gives her the journal, she just accepts it and writes it on a new journal. So eventually, lesson is, whatever you can retrieve it, like a book or a special thing that you have. When there's a fire, you can't retrieve it. You just have to accept the fate that things will get destroyed in the future. They'll never come back to you, But anyways, I think that's all for now, and this is me.